Welcome back YouTube, 22K here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a video that could go terribly wrong, and probably will. Let's be honest. I don't know what I'm going to title it. You can all see from the title what it's going to be about. Those that have watched me for any length of time will know. I wouldn't say it's something that's close to my heart. It's something that irks the crap out of me and has done for the best part probably a decade, if not more. And I think for most people, they probably don't give two hoots. They really probably couldn't care less. I am, and I was very much live and let live. I don't really have a dog in the fight, so to speak, in this, other than I will give you some examples of why I dislike it and why I think it's wrong. But it's very sort of, it pertains to certain scenarios. I think that's probably the best word to use. And we're talking about the monetization of the hobby via YouTube. So just to sort of frame it, now when I talk about monetization, I don't mean the ads. I don't mean YouTube monetization. I mean actually taking the hobby of what we do, which, look, and again, just to set the record straight, I am a retro game collector. So I'm not probably much of a gamer, but I'm a retro game collector. So I'm not talking about video game channels, people that collect Switch, people that collect Xbox 360 or Xbox One. I don't give two fucks. To me, they're not retro gaming channels. There's some people I've watched do bits of that, but I predominantly watch people that are into retro gaming. I don't watch gaming channels. So I think we need to try and define some clear lines here in terms of what I would consider the hobby. And also a couple of, again, specifics that need to be defined when I'm referring to YouTube. So when I refer to YouTube, I refer to YouTube as the community, right? And I know some people don't like that term community, especially historically. But I think we can all probably agree what sort of values define a community. So if you're part of a community, you'll have a set of values that you all kind of align to, you all kind of adhere to, certain moral and ethical practices and ways and means of talking to each other and to people generally, so you all have a common goal, I think, and you all within a community, you're all kind of equal, I suppose, to some less greater or lesser degree, and like I say, you share those values. So as long as I think we can all agree that if you're part of a community, you see everyone as an equal, and say you share those same those values and aspects of how you would treat people, and wish, and in return want to be treated yourself. Okay, so back in the bad old days, and again I've touched on this loads of times throughout my time on YouTube, you'll see me having mini rants on videos, little sections of it. I have a bit of a blowout because probably something's irked me, and then it will be like a pickups video, will be something else. I've never really sat down and kind of put this kind of information into a video, but because it is very divisive and it will split opinion. I know this, and that's probably why I've always kind of steered clear of it, because it's not for everybody, and some people will have different views. But I would always argue those people with different views, especially if they're strongly differing, have always got a dog in the fight. So if you're against, not against, if you don't agree or you don't like or you dislike the monetization of the hobby on YouTube, right? So again, we're not talking about ads. We're not talking about ads. We're talking making money, making the hobby a business, making money from the hobby, right? Monetizing it. You've probably got a dog in the fight, as in it's probably what you do, okay? And that's fine, and that's fine. And on the other side is probably people, which I tend to gravitate towards, which do it as a hobby, okay? And it's just a hobby, and but it's not the hobby, okay? And again, I'll quote my good mate Daz Kojo said it the best. Certain people that say on this side, let's say the ones that are monetizing it, YouTube is the hobby. It just so happens that the context or the subject matter is gaming. Let's just call it gaming, because a lot of these channels that get to the point, they're not really, they start off that way, and again I'll come to this, but not really retro gaming. They're not really, it's just a vehicle to get them to where they want to be. And I think that's fair assessment perhaps for most of them. And then you've got the other people on the other side, which are just hobbyists. They're, you know, they've probably really been into their gaming, really been into the retro gaming probably since they were little. They probably refound it again, and they look around, probably of a certain age, probably like me, you know, late 30s onwards or whatever, and none of their friends are into it. Okay, you're kind of isolated somewhat. So again, social media, world of the internet, you kind of look around and you find like-minded people that share like-minded views and are into the same thing you are, aka a community. You find a community of like-minded people that are into retro gaming. And you may watch some of these channels, you may have watched them for a while, and you think, you know what, I've got some, right, I find some nice things, I like to share my collection, I've got some thoughts or whatever, and then you start a video, and then you interact, okay, you interact with this community, and then you become part of the community, and you may, have certain values and ideas that align with the community. Maybe some probably don't, but on the whole, you kind of have an overarching idea of what it means to be part of that community. This is going to be a long video because I've got to explain it right, because otherwise I'm going to upset a lot of people. It's probably not going where you think it's going to go. So I think if we can define the two separate sets of groups of people at the minute. Okay, so you've got people that are doing it for the hobby, because they happen to collect and are into and play retro gaming, and YouTube is just an extension of that hobby, right? So YouTube isn't the hobby itself. You've got people that may have started in this camp, but for whatever reason, whatever factors, have kind of found themselves gravitating towards this side, which is the monetization. And again, remember, monetization isn't the ads. It's making the hobby earn money, pay money, whatever term you want to use it. You know what I'm talking about. I probably don't need to define it too much other than that. So if we go back to when YouTube first started, I don't think there's any ads. There was no money in YouTube. It was a free-to-air platform. And again, I think a lot of people, I didn't really get onto it for probably a couple of years. And when not long after I joined, I think they'd started putting the ads on. And there were different parameters. I think it was like 2,000 or something, different other ranges and variations that you had to meet to qualify. And obviously those early adopters were kind of ahead of the game. And I think back then, again, don't quote me on this because this is the sort of stuff I could get wrong, and it's not really that important, but the ad revenue from YouTube was good. It was good. You know, people were like, they found an audience, had found like-minded people, they had a voice, and they were earning a few quid from the ads. Always good, always golden. And obviously, if you're first to market, you kind of control the market share, so to speak. So a lot of these channels probably would have had an established user base, and then when the ads kicked in, the quid's in. Then something happened, and I can't remember how long ago it was, so don't quote me, but they termed it the adpocalypse, which, again, is probably maybe 5 years after they started, or 7 years, or whenever it was. But YouTube they reduced, they changed, whatever word you want to use, the amount of revenue generated from these ads, and they called it the adpocalypse. What that did was probably the worst thing to happen to YouTube from the community side of people, okay? So you had the people in the community, the ads come along, and they kind of gravitated towards this side because there was money to be made, but being paid by the man, right? So these people here, we're watching these people here being paid by YouTube up here. No, no biggie. You can put ad blockers on, you don't need to see it, blah, 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 blah. Sort of everyone was kind of happy, I suppose, in that medium because it was like kind of free money. Because you were here making your videos anyway, and then the bigger you got or whatever it is, and you're earning sort of money here, it was golden. But then YouTube here went, actually, you're earning probably a bit too much money. I can't remember if they reduced it, they took a bigger slice. I don't know what happened. Again, don't quote me. So these people here they got quite comfortable. And I've mentioned this before, and you see it nowadays. So what happens is the people here, they stop being the people here, because this bit here starts becoming more important, and it becomes more important for probably a couple of reasons. And again, I could be wrong here, but it's just, again, this is all my own views, my own opinions. I'm not saying this is anything right. This is what I've just garnered over the 15 odd years or whatever I've been on here. Financially, they become dependent on being here because they're used to this big money, or they were used to big money from YouTube, Google. I think it was when Google took over, actually. The apocalypse happened, I think. But anyway, let's just call it YouTube. So they got used to the money. So then what happens is they got used to the money, but they also get used to sort of the fame or the celebrity. It wasn't really called that back then, I don't think. It was really, it wasn't as big as it is now, like influencers, and because you didn't have any Instagram or TikTok or any of that nonsense. It was really just YouTube. But I think they got used to it. Ego, let's call it ego. So you had financial and egotistical factors at play. So with the apocalypse, obviously these people were so used to that revenue that they would have altered their lifestyle to suit being in this sphere, if you like. And that's each to their own. Like I say, live and let live. I have no issue with that whatsoever. You do you live your life, whatever, not a problem. But what happened with the apocalypse, this group of people here were like, well, hang on, I've given up my job, I've gone part-time, I've bought this, that and the other because I thought I was fucking Billy Big Bollocks here. Now I'm at a shortfall. I might have to go back to work. I might have to get a fucking job. And some people in this side of it would go, what, I mean, like a real job, like what I have to do. So there's always been that kind of conflict of sort of viewing content creators as like sort of lesser, not demeaning, but like didn't really value it. It's probably less so now, to be honest, because that's the way society is pushed towards. But there's people here obviously got a financial shortfall. So what then happened, and again, don't quote me on this, but they looked to other means, other revenue streams to keep themselves afloat, just for a living as a life. Now, that's where Patreon came in. And again, don't quote me on this, buy me a coffee, Ko-fi or whatever, and all the other tip bull crap that goes around this whole sphere of people, right? All the sort of what I would call the begging means, right? The woe is me, give me some money type things. And more recently, YouTube membership, because I think YouTube realised that Patreon were onto something and they wanted a slice of it. Now, again, I could be wrong here, but my understanding of Patreon and its inception was it was a means for artists to fund projects. I don't know, maybe in the toy world they were going to create a new Star Wars figure, right? But they didn't have the financial capital to sort of create the molds. Or again, this has not happened, I'm just giving you an example, real world example. So they would go to the Star Wars community here and say, look, I'm really talented sculptor or whatever, but I don't have the financial means to create the mold, to create this fucking new Star Wars figure or this old Star Wars figure from the movies. If you guys here help me via Patreon, chuck in a couple of quid each, I'll get a pot of money, and then I can buy all the stuff necessary to create this item, and then you will all get one. So everyone benefited. That's a kind of, I think, where it was, the idea from it was from. It was more artistic. You know, and you were enabling a person to get from a point A to point B, and that financial help would enable them to get to that way. But at that point there, all these people here would gain something from it. It wasn't just vaporware. It wasn't like just thank you very much, see you later. thanks for all the fish kind of thing. That's my very, very basic understanding. Now, again, I could be completely wrong, but that's how I've always sort of interpreted Patreon to be. Now, I think what happened is it's kind of usage and adoption is kind of altered. So what you have now, what then happened and what you have now is the people here, after the apocalypse, went, you know, I need to get a job, I need to find other revenue streams. And so they looked to these other services and said, well, actually, you know, I could ask these people here, this community here that watch and follow me, if they wouldn't mind giving me some money. Now, you may think, you can ask people. It's like, and again, I keep, you know, I say this before, it's like a beggar on the street. You've got a tin, you're rattling it, put a quid in there, put 2 quid in there, whatever you want. It's begging, right? It's begging no matter what form it is. They'll call it a donation, whatever. It's begging. This group of people here are asking this people here to give them money. Now, you tell me in what world that's anything other than begging, because you're asking for something for nothing, right? Now, this is where it gets a little slightly complicated. So some people will say in here, but I'm not asking it for nothing because I'm going to give you something back. Now, this is where it gets the grey area. It's this giving back bit that I think is where the duplicity sort of lies somewhat. So, you know, at the point at which the apocalypse happened, this group of people said, right, we need some extra income. We need like to keep going, and we need to find money. So we'll jump on this Patreon thing and ask this group of people to give us the money. Now, how they did it, how they justified it, this is where it kind of grinds me a little bit, because if you look at the justifications of when these people here ask these people here for money, and I think Access Area 6 Kev, Goldtooth mentioned it, stuff like that, is their reasoning and justification doesn't really add up, in the sense that they say, oh, you need to give us money to keep going, to keep the channel alive, to help the channel. Well, at this point here, these people, like I said before, going back before the apocalypse and everything else, these were doing all right. They didn't need any help from these people. So to keep the channel going, what do you need extra that you haven't already got? What is it that you need that you haven't already got? Now, what these people didn't want to say to this people was, I just really want your money. Because let's be honest, that's what it's about. The duplicitous and the fake manipulation, if you want, blatant lies, however you want to term it, that this group of people then told this group of people to justify and to, I don't know, coerce them into paying them money. It's a tip. It's only a tip. Well, it's not, because if anyone's looked at Patreon, it's not a tip. You have to subscribe to it. It's a subscription, and you pay it monthly. So it's not a tip. So let's stop calling it a tip. Let's stop saying it's like if there's a busker on the street and he's playing a musical instrument, you chuck him a couple of quid. It's not like that at all. It's not like that. Let's not, because this group of people, they have to convince this group of people to still give them money. So the reasons these group of people use, and it's like you could do it, it's like bullshit bingo. Honestly, I don't know. What happens at this point when you set up Patreon or whatever? Do they send you a crib sheet of bullshit reasoning that you can send to people, so you can send to this group of people to try and trick them, coerce them into giving you money? Because they literally say all the same stuff. Buy equipment. Well, what equipment have you got that you haven't got now that you need, that you haven't already got? You're already making videos. Or I don't know what you need, what else you need. And then when you question it, it's like, oh, I need lights. Okay, how many lights do you need? Oh, I need... And I'll give you a real world example, because this is where, and again, it doesn't really affect me, right? It's not a thing, but I don't like the bullshit. I don't like the lying, and that's what gets me. So there was a channel, I'm not going to say his name, nothing to do with retro gaming. He was a toy channel, American, an English guy in Australia. If some people that are in that toy world, they'll probably know who it is. And he was like, started off, he was quite entertaining, did this and the other. And again, something happens, and I don't know what it is. There must be something that goes on. I don't know if it's the Patreon mafia or what, but something happens to channels when they get to a certain size where they suddenly deem themselves worthy of being here and asking this group of people to pay them. I don't know what it is, right? And this guy got to that point. Now, initially it was, oh, I need batteries for my camera when I go out filming. Okay, but you've got a camera with batteries already. Oh, no, but I need lights as well, and then you need a microphone. Okay. And then his other reason, because I asked him this, his other reason then was he wanted this group of people, and I shit you not, to pay for his internet. That was the way this group of people were helping his channel to pay for his internet. So what this person was basically saying is, if you people here don't pay me, I won't be able to make videos because I can't afford internet. So if you didn't do YouTube, then you wouldn't have an internet connection. You wouldn't pay internet for anything. Really? So if and it was reasoning and excuses, whatever you want to call it, like that. I'm like, this is bullshit. So I said to him, I said, okay, you need lights, you need batteries, you need whatever it is. So switch on your Patreon. People will give you however much it is for a month. You buy your batteries, you buy your lights, switch it off then. His reply to me was, well, no, because people want to help the channel. People want to donate to the channel. But that's not what you said. You said to these people, they need to give you this money to help the channel because these are the things that you need. But what you're really saying is you want to keep it on because you just want the money. And it's that lie. It's that barefaced lie masked in a bullshit list of reasons that this group of people say to this group of people. Now, anybody else, okay, out on the street or whatever it is, if they ask you for money, you're begging. Now, some people be like, God, that guy's looks a bit rough, whatever. I'll give him some. I don't give anything to beggars because there's professional beggars out there. I just don't believe in it, okay? I don't think it really helps anybody. But the way, and again, people from outside of YouTube would probably look at this and go, that's fucking crazy. Who would do that? Why would you do that? And I've asked myself that question. Why did this group of people give this group of people money? Why are you paying them? And it's not just because this group of people, perhaps, like I say, now rely on it financially as a living. This is their quote unquote job. But also it's a lot of them have been very astute and they've got this group of people to pay to build their gaming collection. And it's like, it's that fucking X-Files. It's like parallel. It's like, is this real? Is this really happening? But this group of people are kind of that sold, that I don't know what word you're looking for, not sort of cult, but they don't see it. They don't see what this group of people are really doing, and I don't think they probably care. Now, the way they probably do that is it's emotional, psychological, guilt tripping, manipulation, all manner of very dubious wording, implications that they kind of say to this group of people to make them think that they need them here. Like, but the fact is, the people here, the stuff that they're making, and I've said this before, there's nothing new under YouTube. This group of people here are not doing anything other than what a group of people here that are not asking for any money would do. You're just kind of invested in these people because it's what you're used to. It's almost, it is kind of like not brainwashing, but it is a cult of personality. And they feel an allegiance. They feel like, you know, they're part of them, right? And the way these people do that, again, when they do this Patreon thing or whatever, early access, hidden videos or all this, that, and the other, all manner of kind of like sales techniques where the reality is the stuff that this group of people get to see maybe a week before, 2 weeks before, it'll come out anyway, and everyone else can watch it for free. But this group of people then feel like elite. They make them feel special. But in reality, these people really don't give two flying fucks about you here. Ask yourself this: if you were one of these people that are here, that are paying these people here, and you deem these people here a friend, I know them, you know, blah, blah, blah. Do these people here, and say you may be a content creator here, you may just be dabbling and it's just, again, an addendum to your hobby. But do these people here who you think are your friends, who maybe they do stuff like put you on a Discord and a chat and, oh yeah, this is our community, and it's kind of like a siege mentality. So they build up a siege mentality, and you know, they make these little people here like, oh, I'll make you a moderator, and it gives them some sort of sense of entitlement, some sort of sense of control, power. But realistically, all these people are doing is just basically saying, reinforcing this group of people to keep paying them money and giving them a false sense of identity. As I say, so if you're here and you may make videos, right, and you deem these people here like to be your friends, do these people even watch your stuff? Realistically. Now, you may say to them, oh, did you see my video? And they might go, oh yeah, I did. Oh, I didn't see your comment. Oh no, I'll watch it on my TV. They'll come up with an excuse where there's no comment. Right? They don't comment. So this brings me to another point. So we're kind of like, again, probably very poorly, I've tried to sort of frame how I see a certain demographic within YouTube of people that sit here. And within that sort of group of people there, I don't really care or mind where that split is. So when I started YouTube, I was all about this bit here. I want money. Well, it wasn't bothered about. I just wanted to find like-minded people, share the hobby, make videos, chat about it, and have the laugh, right? And back then, that's what happened. We would go to events, we would go to markets, we would go to like the expos, Play Expo Manchester and stuff like that. And you'd have all this section here, the community section. We'd all mix, you know, we'd all watch each other's videos. Someone watched someone else, and maybe someone wouldn't watch someone, but you get what I mean? There was always like little cliques within cliques and stuff like that, but everyone mixed because we were all of the same thinking. We had all the same community values. And again, I'm not sure what happened, but at some point, these people here, and again, this is the part that irks me, really don't give two fucks about this group of people here. And that was always demonstrated to me because this group of people here would never come to these social events here because they weren't interested in that community side of it. You see what I mean? They just wanted these people to pay them money. They don't give a fuck, really. They'll do what they have to do because it's their job to get money from you, and however means that may be. They'll talk to you on Discord, whatever. They don't want to fucking meet you. They're no interest in that. And to be honest, for a number of years, the status quo was fine. You didn't see these people, you know, unless you subscribed to them. You didn't really see them. It was no biggie. You knew of them. And maybe if you did watch them once or twice, you go, you know what, they're not really for me, or they are, whatever. And you got sold the lie, or you got sucked in, or whatever it might be. But they never attended the social, the meets, the convention. And something happened, and this is, again, it's not me being entitled or anything like that, but they started being referred to as members of the community, pillars of the community. And that's where that's the bit that always irked me, because these motherfuckers have nothing to do with this group of people. They hold no similar values. They're capitalists, and I've got no problem with capitalism at all, right? You're here, you want to make money, get it, fine. Where I got the hump was when these people here then realised, well, do you know what, I could probably get more money out of them, or I could probably convince more people if I then assumed, whatever, that I'm part of a community. And so the fake facades come about, and that's where it really got me, because it's like, I used to say, like, just stay down your own end. You know what I mean? But it didn't. It started infiltrating across. And at that point then I was like, this is bullshit, man. You don't give two fucks, man. I used to, right, again, another good example, years and years and years ago, there was a group of people, and again, this group of people here, I'm talking like worldwide, but we're talking in terms of the retro community. In the UK, there were always, like, we'll call them circle jerks, different ones. And there were a number of people within this sort of circle jerk. I got invited, again, years ago, to a WhatsApp group by this group of people here. And I've told this story to numerous people. I don't think I've ever mentioned it on YouTube. But I was in this WhatsApp group, and anybody who know me, I'm not a big fan of WhatsApp groups because it's just, the phone's pinging and it's just inane bullshit. And I get it, some people like that, that's their thing. But bizarrely, I think, believe it or not, I'm not really a great fan of social media. But that being said, I got invited to a WhatsApp group that contained a lot of some of the circle jerk of these people. And I kid you not, and this just basically nailed it for me, all these people talked about was subs, views, and money, and how to maximize it. It is a business. It's a machine. One of the ones that you'll see a lot of them do, especially sort of more successful, I don't know, the more internationally successful ones that have broke America, is they'll create videos called Evergreen videos. And for those that don't know, Evergreen videos are not the type of videos that these people make here. People in the community who are sharing their hobby, sharing the stuff that they found, blah, 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 because those videos are a snapshot in time. They exist in a time frame. These people here, you don't tend to see them on camera. Now, I'm not saying that's a hard and fast rule, but you tend not to see them on camera very much because that doesn't lend itself to the evergreen video. The evergreen video is like toppers, best ofs, history of, unreleased, that kind of stuff where it's evergreen. It would never go out of date because you can always reference, especially for retro, because at some point the library ends, doesn't it? The top 10 best SNES shoot 'em ups, top 20 unreleased SNES games. It's finite. So if you watch it in 10 years' time, or where you watched it a year ago, it's evergreen. It doesn't age. Whereas the stuff that we make, because we're community people and we're just sharing the hobby and it's a journey, they age. We age. The whole thing ages. The video quality ages. But what you find with these people is that's what they gravitate towards, is those evergreen videos. I'm not saying that's a hard and fast rule. It's not. But the sort of more successful or whatever, that's what they tend to make because it appeals to a larger audience. Right? So they've captured this community side, which is the people that sort of are invested in them. But also with these evergreen videos, it pulls in people, casual viewers that kind of just like it. They're not really into gaming, but they'd like to see that kind of thing. And again, no problem with that. That's what you do. I'm just trying to give you a very broad stroke view of, how these people operate and why they do it the way they do it. And again, you do you, not a problem. What I don't like is when this group of people then say that we represent this group of people, because you don't. And I don't know who it is that keeps putting these bunch of fucking morons on stage at all these events, because no one gives two fucks what they're celebrities. They're just fucking people. They're moronic people that are just interested in your money. They don't give two fucks. They're not interested in you. They don't care about you. They just care about how much money they can get from you. One person in this group, again, going back years, you looked at his Patreon tiers, and one of them was, you can pay him, I think it was something like 150 quid, and he'll sit and watch a movie with you over the internet. I think it's gone, because I think I mentioned it before and he probably got embarrassed by it. But that is no word of a lie. You could pay him money and he would sit and watch a movie with you. Which brings me on to another pet hate of the whole thing. What this group of people tend to do that are asking for money is, it's psychological blackmail, not intimidation, coercion. And unfortunately, you'll find some of the people in this group, let's be honest, the hobby that we're in, by its very nature, they're quite antisocial people, quite probably, maybe got some learning difficulties with some mental health kind of, deficiencies, don't make friends very well. And so they see these people as their friends. They really do. They see them as their friends. And you'll see it a lot, though. These people donate. You've heard it all before. You get all these people crying, blarting, e-begging. You know, the famous one is that fucking hippie in America where he said his basement was leaking and he wanted people to pay him to go on holiday. And all kinds of manner of absolute bullshit. But that's their mentality. They don't give two fucks. They don't care if Stan down here is eating pot noodles for a week. As long as they get their £5 Patreon money, they don't give two fucks. And I think that's where this group of people I like to think differ. This community differs because they don't want to see their own, because we've got a shared set of values. You know, we don't want to see people taken advantage of or manipulated or whatever. This group of people don't care about that. And like I say, these group of people, do what you want. I just don't like it when it starts interfering and there's an implication that they represent this group of people just because they're bigger, which is a whole other thing. And I don't understand this at all. And people need to stop doing this shit, right? You may get someone who starts off here and they get popular. They could just, like, what do they call it? Go viral or whatever it is, right? Blow up, whatever the terminology is. All of a sudden, this group of people here, because there must be a psychological, mental thing that goes on, right? And I don't understand it. Because this person has got more subs, they have a bigger voice. They are somehow right. You can't challenge, you can't contest, no. This person who's up here now was still a twat when he was down here, or she, or whatever. Just because they've got more subs does not make them any more right or any more justified or better or anything at all. They're just, and to be honest, a lot of it is just pure blind fucking luck. Some of it is manipulated, targeted, you know, and a lot of these people here are in sales and marketing. They know, especially digitally, they know how to manipulate and coerce to get people to that point. They know, like Evergreen videos, stuff like that. They know how to work the algorithm. That's not a community person, is it? That's a person that's got a purpose, that wants to get money, that has monetized the hobby. Okay, on video. So when you sort of see these traits, and I see them now all the time, I can see people that start here and I see all the tropes, what they do, because this is where they want to get to. And there's no I've got no problem with that, right, at all. What I don't like is you're here and you're saying all the right stuff for the community, but your actions and your videos are saying something completely different. And what they do, they use this as a leapfrog. They use this as a platform to build that base up, right? And because you're part of a community and whatever, people then are sort of invested in you, and they feel, again, a moral obligation, perhaps manipulation, to then give you money because you're saying that you need this to keep the channel going. What? You've got a camera. You're already making videos here. You don't need lights. It's, I think, like Kev said, Area Access 6. If you can't afford to run your YouTube channel, you shouldn't be making videos. And you definitely shouldn't be asking these people here to sustain your living here that you've got yourself caught up in because you've altered your lifestyle to take advantage of these people paying you. That, to me, is you're morally corrupt. And I've seen channels, nice, I say nice people, but they come across that way. And one guy was basically saying, and I had him in the comments. And he basically he had to let slip that if these people didn't pay him, he would stop making videos. This guy repairs stuff, and so he would get people here to give him money. He would then buy broken things from eBay. He would then fix them. So he'd make a video fixing the things. So he's got revenue from the video fixing things. He would then Obviously, he's not paid for these because these people have paid for the item. So his quid's in there. He's got the item for free. He's made a video for free fixing it, and then he sells it on eBay. So he's double, triple dipping off the back of these people. And when he was sort of saying, "Oh, you know, woe is me, and you've got to keep paying me," and this, that, and I was like, okay, so if people stop paying you, and someone said, "You'd still make videos, wouldn't you?" And he basically said, "No." And they're like, "But how do you live then?" "Oh, I wouldn't have any extra money." But you could just save up a couple of quid. You'd probably make less videos, but you didn't have to stop the channel. And this is what I think it dawned on this person in the comments. They were like, but you could just save up like 2 months and buy a broken Spectrum or a broken Commodore or a broken megadrive and then make the video. "Oh, no. I'd just knock it on the head." Because he wasn't really interested. It wasn't the whole spiel was not geared towards, you know, providing content for these people. It's provided to make money. And this guy was talented. He could make money repairing stuff. But that meant too much work. He wanted to repair one thing and triple dip on the profits. And again, like I said, I've been doing this for a long time, and I see it, and I see all different examples. And you guys probably haven't. You probably don't realise it. We're at 40 minutes now. So for me, I say, in its essence, I really don't give a fuck if people over here are monetising the hobby. Right? They're getting idiots here to pay them to make videos that they make for free. They put them on a free-to-air platform. Have at it. If you're down here and you're stupid enough to pay these people money, more fool you, right? They're not your friend. They don't give two fucks about you. They'll say whatever they need to be said to keep you paying them. They'll do whatever they need to say, manipulate you, psychologically blackmail you. "Oh, I'm going to quit. I can't handle it. Blah, blah, blah. This happened to me." And the amount of people that do these GoFundMes because they're fucked up, and it becomes your problem then. Because if you don't pay them, they'll go away. The fact is, if they fuck off, there's literally thousands, millions of videos that do exactly what these people do. And I get you kind of invested in it, but that's the psychological, that's the cult of personality. Just unsub. You honestly, you'll be amazed the stuff that you see, the people that you find. If you walk away from these so-called big channels, they're not fucking your friend. They really don't give two fucks. They're not community people. Now, you might not be community focused. You might just be like, "Oh, I'll watch it. I'll chuck him a couple of quid. I don't mind. Blah, blah." Fine. No problem with that. But my issue is when these group of people get touted like they're part of this retro gaming community. You're not. Because your values are commercial. You're just in it for the money. Again, that's fine, but I don't like the sales pitch, and I don't like the implication, and I don't know, and I don't appreciate it when these people seem to then have a bigger voice over what is the community here. They're not. They're nothing to do with it. That there needs to be a definitive split. I've mentioned this a couple of times in the past. Clay Graphics said this as well. I think he's sort of cottoned on to the same line of thinking that I had, and I think we're of the same thought. In an ideal world, right, what I would love is like a paid section, split YouTube down the middle. All these fuckers here, they all want your money, right? So for you to watch any of these people here, you here have to pay a subscription fee, £10, right? £10 a month, like Netflix. And then you get to watch all these people here. All these people here, that £10 a month from all these people gets divvied up depending on how popular you are, right? There you go. Something like that. If you don't want to do that, then in here is all the free to air, which is like the people that are not in it for this much money. And you can see who's doing it for what reasons. And I think that for me would be a more moral, just way of doing it, because and I know some people start here and they end up here probably by accident maybe, but I think a lot of people, if you see their early videos, I know there's people that start here and they've been on Yeah, and I don't like the standing on shoulders of giants thing, where you get people here and they go around interviewing all the people here and put them on the channel. Because that to me just says, that screams, fucking screams wannabe. And I'm like, I'm fucking done. There's no chance. Because that's all that's about. That's about leeching off these people because you want to get from there to there. You're not in it for the community. And again, look, there's nothing wrong with doing that, but be honest. Be honest when you start your channel. Don't be fucking trying to make out you're part of the community, this, that, and the other, when realistically all you're bothered about is getting to here. Just be honest. Just say, I'm here for the money. I don't really give two fucks if you watch or you don't watch. If you do watch, I want you to pay me. And I'll say that you can have early access or some of the crap that they come out with, these fucking bullshit Patreon tiers. It's all crap. We know it's all crap. They just want your money. They want your money because they haven't got a job. Or this becomes their job and they become dependent on it. And again, Bithead 1000 is a prime example of that. If you watched any of his videos historically, when he was at like 5,000, 6,000 subs, the content was amazing. Right, it was original. He had a bit of a drive to him and stuff. As soon as he went, I can't remember. I think it was made a glass fucking console. He made about 10,000 glass consoles now, and that catapulted him. Went viral, and then all of a sudden let's switch on the fucking money tap, and then he become dependent on it. You watch any of his videos now, he always talks about having to get a second job because he's dependent on that money, and if that money dried up, he's fucked because his lifestyle has now been built around this extra money. And the quality, the content is the artist fell out of it. The flip side to it as well is the bigger you get here, especially if you've planned it, which a lot of them do plan it, they don't edit. A lot of the people, especially the UK people here, they're all still scripted. I don't know if you know this, but a lot of the stuff is scripted. People are on about top twat and all that. It's all scripted. Someone writes that script. That's not them. They're just presenters. They don't even edit. They pay someone else. So they need these idiots here to pay them so they can pay everybody else. Otherwise, they're done for. The whole pyramid. Make Dana said this. It's a pyramid scheme. It really, really is a pyramid scheme. And again, I don't know what happens. There must be some fucking Patreon mafia that basically says, if you pay me, I'll pay you. Everyone pays each other. The only one that gets fucked over is these people down here because they get fuck all out of it. But when people see that other people are paying, it's almost like a FOMO. And again, it's the cult of personality kicks in. It's very... someone must do a university course on it because there's some mad fucking MK Ultra psychological manipulation that goes on. It has to be. I think Kev said it in Access 6. He said something like, and I'll paraphrase him, if you're fucking stupid enough to pay these people money to fill their shelves with stuff, to then they're laughing at you as they're putting these games on there, they're more fool you. And he's right. It really is. That's the case. You don't need to be here. Honestly, if you're true, honest, and you just love the hobby, you love the collecting side of it, you love the community, the proper community, you don't need to get here. Kev's an example of that. Fucking 40,000 subscribers. The guy's not interested. He just wants to share what the shit he's got and have a laugh and interact with people. Somewhere along the lines, societally, we've got to this point where everything has to be monetized. And again, I'm not talking about ads. There has to be money made from it. You have to kind of generate this capitalism. And I don't mind capitalism. I don't mind it at all. But it has its place. But when people are doing stuff for hobby, and I don't like the manipulation, I don't like the blackmail, I don't like the psychological turning of people, guilt tripping them into stuff. I just think you're morally corrupt. You really are. You must be a fucking dark soul to do that. And I'm pretty sure, right, if I made a video tomorrow and I said, guys, I'm fucking struggling, you fucking idiots would give me money. I know you would. But I would never do that because that's not what I'm here for. And as a society, we've got to this point where I fuck up or they fuck up and someone else, they expect these group of people to pay for it. What? When did this happen? When did your fuck up? When did your issues become my problem? Because you're of a cult of a personality and you see yourself as helping them, when really you're not fucking doing anything. You're doing the complete opposite. They're becoming dependent on you. They're not self-sufficient. And I just think, if you're here and you're saying and you're doing this kind of thing where you're expecting these people to pay you to live, especially in this day and age, you know, the cost of living and everything else, you're fucking morally corrupt. You really are. Now look, you might be down here and you might go, fuck you, Stu, it's £5 a month, what do I care? No big deal. I quite like what the content they're making. They entertain me, but fine, have at it. Have at it. It don't make it right. It don't make it right. And that's all I'll say. I agree with Clay. If there was a clear divide, and if people were honest, if there was a bit of honesty and said, look, I'm only here because I want your money. I don't really give a shit about what goes on here. And again, I've seen people that have, like I said, they've got lucky and they've got to this point here. And at this point here, they've been on these, I did reference it, where they've been on these like interview things, standing on the shoulder giants, and they've interviewed certain people that have got to here, and they've asked them, oh, so which channels do you watch here? Yeah, I don't really watch anybody. I'm like, what, really? What, so for example, so you're into retro gaming, you've got a little collection or whatever. You know what? I'm going to start a YouTube video. I'm going to make a YouTube video. Okay. What are you going to talk about? What you going to reference or whatever? I was going to talk to the camera. So you've gone from a cold start. So you haven't watched anybody. You don't watch anybody in the smaller, because that's where you have to start. Let's be honest. You don't start up here. You start down here. Everyone has to start down here. So you start down here. You're basically saying you don't really watch anybody, and this guy said this. This is a fact. This guy said this. He doesn't watch hardly anybody. I don't really watch too many people. I don't watch hardly anybody. So you've gone from a cold start here to not watching anybody to making a video to making videos. Really? So for me, I think I was watching YouTube for maybe a year or two, and I think most people would do that. Like I say, because you watch the videos, you interact with this community here, you talk on the comments, blah blah, and then you get to the point where you think, you know what, I can have a go at that. I've got some nice collection of stuff. I've got a fucking, I mean, nowadays I've got a phone. Don't take any, that's all I've got is an iPhone. There's nothing flashy here, and I can have a go at that, and that's what you would do. So if you're telling me that there's people that don't really watch anybody, so your purpose for making YouTube videos isn't this bit here, because you don't watch anybody. You've said you don't really watch anybody. But what you want, and this is what a lot of them do, and again, I mentioned this before about them not commenting, you've got no real interest in this community bit. You're seeing those as a means to get to here, because this is where you want to get. This is where you want to be the money. It's a monetary thing. It's a monetary, or it's an ego thing. I keep forgetting the ego. Egos plays a big part in it. Or it's an ego thing. They both go hand in hand. Some people have the ego, but they don't get to that point there. And and when they have the ego, but they don't get to that point there, what happens? They quit. How many people have you known like that? How many people? You all fucking know someone. We all know people. Because what they can't do, the ego is so big that it won't capture this group of people, because they're so egotistical that they can't turn enough people here, and they let the mass slip too quick, and then they kind of cotton on, and they get sort of found out a little bit, so they get the humping and they fuck off. Equally, you get people down here, and again, it's probably a more honest way of doing it. They've got no interest in watching anybody. They make the top of videos, the evergreen videos, and they're not as successful. They probably put a bit of a spiel on it, you know, wear a mask, do whatever, change it up a little bit, but it doesn't happen. So they fuck off, they quit again, and they'll try some out, and they'll keep trying. They'll come back with different fucking versions of the same thing, because they're not interested in the hobby. It's a vehicle, it's a topic. It could be fucking collecting milk bottle tops, fucking stamps, whatever you want to. The context doesn't matter too much to these people. They want to get here where they're being paid. And it might just be that they like making videos. And like I said, the context doesn't really matter. The subject context doesn't matter to them. It's about getting here and getting the ego and getting the money. And a lot of people, they sort of latch on to the retro. I think I use retro lightly here, because that in and of itself is quite a sort of nerdy niche area, which is probably quite easily manipulated people. Not sort of saying we're all sort of got learning difficulties over, but you know what I mean, that there's that need to find like-minded people, because it's not like modern gaming. You know, modern gaming, if you're here and you're doing modern gaming, collecting Switch, doing Xbox One, whatever, you know, you're reaching fucking young kids and stuff like that. You know, that's not really an issue. You could probably catapult from there to there and no one will give two fucks. And I couldn't care less either. What annoys me, and I keep going back to it, is the people that are here that are then getting touted to represent the people here, like you're my voice, and their views or whatever, and these people here see, oh yeah, because they've got more subs, their points more valid. No, they're fucking scabs. They're scabs and leeches. It's not that, it doesn't work that way. And I think when people realise that, when you pull back the curtain, it all falls to pieces. It really does. Okay, nearly an hour now. More so is like, and again, I've mentioned it numerous times. Goldtooth picked this up when I said it, but it's not the first time I said it. Take the money out of YouTube, right? If you sucked the money out of it, if there's no Patreon and buy me coffee, it's kind of going that way a little bit with this membership thing, because what you've got to remember is when you monetize, as in you do properly monetize with ads, YouTube take a revenue and you have to declare that as earnings. I don't know, because I don't do it. I'm not sure if Patreon, you have to declare it as earnings and you get taxed on it. But if you're pushing it all through the membership route via Patreon, you're going to get taxed more. So these people here that had the apocalypse 10 years ago, remember that? They're probably looking at this going, oh shit, if YouTube, and I don't know how they would do it, if they would like AI your videos for a Patreon link or whatever, and they start stripping it out and blocking you, banning you or whatever, and they force your members to pay the membership, your money, your revenue is going to drop, because you're paying tax, you're getting less, YouTube are taking a slice of it. I don't know if that's the thing, I don't know. But that's when you start to see, like I say, if you took all of that out, you wouldn't have half of these people on here. You really wouldn't. And again, it feeds back into what Clayton said, and what I've kind of touted for years now, having this split, this divide, where it's just hobbyists, free to air. We're just here for the like-minded people, sharing the hobby, sharing the love, sharing the passion, group of people, as opposed to what I would call the fucking leeches and the scabs that are making evergreen bullshit, fucking, you know, whatever's on trend videos. I think Geordie Slasher mentioned it. There's a group of these people here now that, because it's suddenly popular, to bash modern gaming. And it's like, you fucking hell, man, get a personality. And a lot of these people don't have personalities. They really don't. Some people do. Some people are quite good at it, but a lot of them, which is why you don't see them on camera, some of them as well, because there's nothing to them. It would just be voiceovers or graphics and text and stuff like that. And they're well edited. They are really well edited. They're slick edited. This down here, for me, if someone starts here and they're slick, well edited video, no. Because to me, in my head, it's like, you want to get to here. And I'm out. Because I'm not here for that. I've said this numerous times before and people laugh. I'd like my YouTube like I like my porn. I like it raw, amateur and unedited. It's just how I am. Because I think that's when you see people for who they are. Not in porn, I mean, well, yeah, there's that as well. But in terms of YouTube, these are kicking in. Just does that make sense? Because I don't like the false, duplicitous nature of these people here. Because I've seen them. I've seen them in action. I've seen them in action for over a decade. I know all of the sort of the triggers and the tropes. And as soon as they start doing it, I'm fucking done. And that's what they do. So to wrap it up, because we're at an hour, fucking an hour. To wrap it up for me, do I care if people earn money from YouTube? No, I couldn't care less. What I don't like, and what I've never liked, is when you start assuming because you're here and you're, you know, whatever many subs it is, whatever it might be, and you're in this, that, and the other, somehow you are more valid, you're more authoritarian, you've got your points count more than someone here, and for some reason you seem to represent this community when you've got nothing to do with it other than leeching off the back of them. You don't give two fucks. You don't give two shits. And you've all seen people here where these people are giving them stuff. I mean, again, Kev mentioned this. I've seen it over the years. You know, naming no names. I know people that nearly have done that. And then they've had a fucking bolt of fucking realisation hit them and go, what the fuck am I doing here? And, you know, we're talking a lot of money that would be gifted because it's this cult of personality. Again, it must be some like MK Ultra shit. It's very well done, and some people probably don't realise it's being done to them. But it's frightening, and the amount of money that these people would give to these people because these people say, "Oh, I'm going to quit now." I don't get it. What is your life so vapid that you need this channel to stay afloat? I mean, again, I think it's kind of like you get caught in a bubble and you don't realise how vast YouTube is to a certain degree until you break out of that bubble. And again, I mentioned it before, I just block so many channels. I do not recommend this channel, do not recommend. And the algorithm has to start showing you stuff that it wouldn't ordinarily see. And not only that, it just helps me mentally because I don't have to look at those people because they just disgust me. I'm sorry they do, because I don't agree with it. I think it's morally corrupt. Unless you say from the start, I'm only here to make money, right? I don't really give a shit. I'm not really interested in talking to you per se. I just want to make videos and I want you to pay me. Fine. I like that honesty. And then you down here can say, do I want to pay to that or not? What they don't, but what a lot of them do is they suck you in. They suck you in. They get you on board. They make you feel like you're part of something because you're probably, again, you know, sort of a bit insular, bit sort of socially awkward, and then they capture you, and they'll have a Discord channel, they might have this, that, and the other, and they'll pop on there and they'll say everything you want to fucking hear to make you feel like you're a friend. But reality is, if in a social meeting, if you weren't paying these people, would they come and say hello to you? Would they come and speak to you? I don't think they would. I really don't think they would, unless there's something for those people to gain from you. I don't think they'd fucking bat an eyelid. I really don't think they would. When you're down here and you've got 1,000 sub, you've got 200, you've got 250, you've got 6,000, you've got whatever it is, whatever, 4,000, whatever, 2,500. If you're not here and you're not aiming to get here, these people here will be more honest and more genuine to you than these people here will ever be. You'll have proper, real friends here that will help you, and you don't have to pay them. That's the mad thing. You don't have to pay them. They'll send you stuff, and they'll send each other stuff, and they don't want anything in return. But there are people here that want to get to here, and they'll maybe pay these people here, again, standing on the shoulder of giants, to do that. There's people here that will buy subs, they'll buy views and stuff to get to here because that's what they want. And you see it, you see these people, you've all seen them. You'll get someone that's got like, I don't know, 7,000 subs, and then you look at the video, the views, and they've got like 100 views and 150 views, and you're like, how the fuck have you? Because they're buying them. It's sub for sub. They're fucking hairdressers. They're fucking makeup artists, and it's bollocks. It's all fake. It's all fake. It's all manipulation to make you here think that they're here, and then that kicks in because that's what they're all about. Rather than just being real and saying, look, I've got 500 subs and 400 people watch me. That is a fucking great ratio. It really is a great ratio. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's a drive, and again, it's almost like a validation, and I don't understand it, whereby you have to be all these 1,000 subs for you to be qualified, for you to be regarded. And it's not the case. And I don't understand it, because I know people that are there, and I'm like, why the fuck are all you? And these are grown-ass men that are then kowtowing to someone here because they've said something like, oh no, don't do that yet. And they've gone, oh, okay then. And I'm like, this is fucking, don't listen to fucking him. He has no authority over you, but because he's got more subs, he's a bigger channel. Go fuck yourself. If this person here was in the pub with fucking Fred down the street, no, he wouldn't get two fucks. So there's this God worship, idol worshiping, like I say, it's a cult of personality that kicks in, and it's like, they're just normal people, probably very insecure people as well. So don't ever, if you're here, don't ever feel inferior to people that are here just because they've got more subs. For fuck's sake, guys. And I'm probably maybe preaching to the converted here a fucking hour and 5 minutes. But you know better than this. Outside of YouTube, you wouldn't do this. You really wouldn't do this. You wouldn't behave in this way. And it's an amazing thing to see, but scarily amazing how manipulative people can be. Goldtooth's video. The guy sat there, and he did a great video explaining his point of view and like getting his points across. And again, I'm not naming people, but I always read the comments. These people here, fucking trust me, man. They've probably got people replying to you. Oh, they put heart. Oh God. Again, it's like this whole not replying, right? This whole not replying thing. Again, this is the cult of personality. Like it's some sort of cool thing to do. I'm so big that I don't reply to any comments. And I see people down here, or people at my level, that don't reply to comments. I just find it fucking ignorant. I find it ignorant, and I find it rude. It's bullshit. And I've watched people's videos. They've got like four or five comments, and they've not replied to fucking one of them. And they've probably got more subs than me. And it's bollocks. What it means is they're trying to create this air of like, I don't know, not secrecy, but like, you're not worthy. You know, I'm too busy. It's bollocks. It's fucking rude, and there's no need for it at all. And just like hearting stuff or whatever, and this that I'll reply to it. That's not reply. That's not reply. That's just going through, going click, 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 click. You're not giving these people the time of fucking day. You're not really interested in what they're saying. That's what it says to me. You're not really interested in what they're saying. I don't give a fuck how big you are, but a lot of them that are massive, I'm assuming they employ people to do that. Again, because they need the money. It's a fucking whole machine, a whole sausage machine. But what I did notice with when Goldtooth did his video, and I looked at the comments and I read through them, it was really quite odd and strange, even though it made some really valid points, logical, concise points. In terms of like why, you know, asking the question, why are you mad, are you stupid, or whatever. But then you had people in there, and I said this I replied to him, I can assume it's like an MK Ultra mind control, psychological manipulation, where they then went, yeah, I agree with you. The only time I would is if, and it's like, have you not processed mentally what is trying to say? I'd only you know, I'd pay them if they were a bigger channel and the quality of the videos justified it. What? So what you're saying is, if someone is paying, because this is what happens, someone up here is paying someone to write the script and edit the videos, you'll pay them money, rather than having someone down here who can give you exactly the same information. Because I say, there's nothing new under the sun in YouTube. Trust me, if you think you're fucking doing anything new, game reviews, history of, top 10, all that bullshit, it's fucking crap, right? You're not doing anything new. There's nothing new, especially in the retro. We're talking retro gaming here. But you seem to think just because you've got Sid down here who doesn't have the greatest editing skills, he can sit down, he can talk in front of a camera, he can probably splice a few little whatever up here. But you'd rather, or you feel more justified paying this behemoth up here who doesn't give two fucks about you money because it's well edited like a TV show. I think that's the split, isn't it? And I think that's the societal difference where people feel like that's more justified. You're justified in asking for money because you're putting the effort in. For me, I don't see it that way at all. I just see that side of it. If they're that fucking good, you wouldn't be on a free-to-air platform like YouTube, would you? But you're not. So go figure. But I can't. There was another comment, and it was something like I can't remember what they said now. It wasn't to do with the sort of the quality of the editing or whatever. It was something else, and it's just like I don't think they're processing what Goldtooth had said, or perhaps they see beyond it. Again, it's like this cult of personality where they can't disengage, and they can't see what's maybe I'm the fucking mad one, right? Maybe I'm the mad one that just doesn't get it. I've got cognitive dissonance and I just don't fucking buy into it. I don't know. But I've never been a fan of it at all, ever. And I don't get why people get sold down that route. But there must be something that goes on, because I say, if you look at the comments on Goldtooth's video, it's really odd. I can't think what the fucking the comment was. Okay, I had to just go and check. Again, I don't get this. So someone else's justification for validating asking for money is the size of their channel. So because they're a big channel and because they make weekly content, I think it's right that they should ask for money. What? Really? How? Why? Because they're making the same thing. I don't understand why they would need more money. I said this before. Nobody needs paying. Nobody who's in this camp here, who's a community person, needs paying. Nobody needs your money. If they're down here and they're making videos, they don't need your money. Right? They don't need your money. What happens is they get a bit popular and something happens where they think, I can make money from this. I should make money. I'm entitled to make money. And the people they ask for is people down here, because what's happened is you've kind of invested in them down here. And they've got lucky. They've gone viral, they've blown up, whatever word you want to use. And then they've got a little bit higher. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm entitled. I should ask for money. You should ask for money. And what it ends up being is probably a very small minority of their base where, I don't know, people have always said that they wanted to help the channel. Have they really? I don't know. Why would you do that? Well, I don't understand why, unless you've specifically said that you need help, why people then sort of volunteer to start chucking money at you. It seems a bit like bullshit. I don't know. Unless it's the point where you're making the video every 2 weeks, every month, and a few people go, oh, we should make more videos. I'd pay you to make more videos. And then maybe that's the seed that gets planted, and then your ego kicks in and you think, I don't know. I don't really know how it works. But it's really it's an odd phenomenon to see where grown men, and it's usually men, grown men are paying other people to make content that they would watch him for free. I say because the stuff they're making, unless I don't know, the stuff here, it's all over YouTube. There's nothing new here. There really isn't. you're invested in the person. I get it, the cult of personality. I kind of get that a little bit. But when you see beyond it and you see what's really going on here, again, I'll use Bit as an example. You know, bless him, because it's the only one that I've and I admit it is the only other one, the big channel that I've subscribed. All the rest have fucked off. He's not a retro gaming channel. He's barely a gaming channel. He's a stand-up community. He's a social commentator. And I said this to the lads. If you watch his earlier stuff or whatever, and I mentioned it, you know, previously in the video, if you watch his earlier stuff and whatnot, it was very much kind of real, if that makes sense. But then you watch the stuff later on, it's a regurgitation. And again, I'm not meaning to dig the guy out at all, but if you've watched him for any length of time, rather than the short bit where he went really big, you realise that there's no way, if you looked at it objectively, he's the same age as me, he's 48 years old, there's no way, as a 48-year-old man who goes to work and comes home, all of that shit that he talks about in the video happens to him. I'm sorry, it doesn't. It really doesn't happen. He's a very great, he's an awesome storyteller, but those things didn't happen. Or if they did, they didn't happen to him. He's vicariously recounting those incidents to make content because the algorithm, because he needs the money to make the content to feed the machine. Because if you don't feed the machine when you're here, all of a sudden you start going back down to here. If you start going back down to here, you ain't getting the money up here. And if you ain't getting the money up here, you've got to go back to work. Or you've got to get a second job, which is what he keeps intimating at. And a lot of them are like that. And you'll see, again, I've said it before, you see all of the tropes, you see all of the incremental alterations and changes of channels that go through this. Because to stay up here, you have to keep producing constantly content. And what they do is they may start off down here, retro gaming. I collect Super Nintendo, I collect Mega Drive, I collect Master System. And then they get a little bit popular or whatever. And then I say they might go viral with one video or whatever it might be, top 10, this, that, and the other. So what they do then, oh, top 10 was really good. I'll make another top 10 video. That get really good. Oh, best of, unreleased of. And all of a sudden they become the evergreen type videos. Or the flip side to it is they catch a curve of whatever's popular at the time. Like Mark said, Geordie Slasher, like bashing modern gaming. They've then got to feed that machine of bashing modern gaming. And when that dries up, they look to see what's trending. Oh, I'll do a video on that. You know, someone's bashing the Switch, someone's bashing the PS4, or whatever it might be. And that's what you'll see. So CEX is the fucking classic one now, isn't it? Let's be honest, guys. We haven't even talked about fucking CEX. But that's the thing. You know, I was doing CEX fucking 10 years ago. I invented CEX roulette. It's fucking made no bones about it. I come up with the fucking term. CEX roulette, crapshoot, gambling, whatever you want to call it. Fucking coined that term. I don't fucking bang on about it other than here. But that seems to be the thing, isn't it? Let's bash it. I mean, fuck me. It's just a clickbait bollocks bullshit thing. And when you run out of content at this point, when you're proper retro, you may be into it, you know, you then got to feed this machine up here. So what do you do? Because financially, because you're up here and you've kind of maybe like curtailed work, you maybe quit work, you may have like gone part-time or whatever, but you've got to feed this algorithm, you've got to feed this machine up here, you've got to make videos, so you've got to find content. But you can't keep spending money on retro because retro's expensive, right? You can't be buying one game a week to make a video to keep this machine fed, to make yourself relevant. So what happens is they alter, they change, they diversify, for want of a better word, a horrible word. But you'll find they'll buy cheap stuff, or they'll make free, cheap, crap content about stuff. And that's what they do. They'll make up I don't know what you call it, like, almost like a filler content, as you would do filler games like sports games or whatever. But they'll find other means to keep the machine fed to make shit free content. Let's walk around CEX and film the fucking shelves. I mean, who the fuck watches this? I mean, even the shops. I think every shop in the UK has been filmed fucking ad nauseum. There's literally just balls the fuck out of me. Walk around a car boot filming it. That was done by Kevin Wolford, fucking Kevin Wolford 123 years ago. Him and Kieran, they nailed that. Done. Anyone who does it now is boring, right? It was of a time. It's fucking boring. It's shite. Let's walk around a car boot that you've not even going to go to. You've never been to. You never go to. It's of a snapshot in time. It doesn't exist now. Same as all the shops. I get it from if you're a shop vendor. It's great. It's great fucking, marketing. But as a viewer, it's like, well, that was 2 weeks ago. Half that stuff's fucking sold, or it's not there, or whatever it is. It's pointless. But these people here, they want to feed the beast. They want to feed the machine. They're going to get a video out. And whatever it might be. I mean, the walking around CEX things, it just fucking boggles my mind. Who must watch it? And they must be fucking brain dead and bored. Let's go and see what we can find at the CEX in Stafford. If you click on the website, it will tell you what's there. How about that, fucker, for a start off? Yeah, it might not tell you the condition or whatever, but you can, oh my God, I found this and see. Yeah, it's on the website, mate. I mean, don't even get me started. I think either Goldtooth or Access Area 6 made this comment. How much is my collection worth? And see, what, who fucking moron come up with that bullshit? How much do CEX give me for a full Wii U set? Well, for a start off, if you fucking know anything about fucking collecting, CEX don't carry a full Wii U set. So your title's clickbait bullshit anyway. And secondly, how interested is it? Let's add all the stuff into the basket on CEX and say how much is. What? People watch this shite? I mean, like I say, it's just filler bullshit content. I don't. And then what happens is, because this person's like climbing this ladder, they've got to here, all these people here go, ooh, he's made a video about how much his collection's worth. I'm going to add all my shit to a basket in CEX and make a video. And then it becomes like a thing. Like, no one's even. It's a bullshit thing. It's shite. It's fucking shite. But it becomes its own fucking thing. And I don't get it. It is not interesting to watch. I don't know who watches it. Do people just watch it because of the cult personality? Is that what it is? But the people down here that then suddenly latch onto it and think because it's popular and because they want to get to that point. Again, you'll see this. You see this with these channels. I say to you, don't fucking sub them. Unsub, don't fucking watch them. Because trust me, their end goal is to get here because for some reason they seem to think that's the pinnacle. What they gain from getting there, I don't know. And I've said it before, when you're here, ask yourself, especially if you make videos, why do you do YouTube? What's your purpose? What's your reasoning? Because if it's to get here, which is fine, but at least when you're here, be honest about that's where you want to go. Because then people here in the community can go, you know what, I'm all right, thanks, mate. Off you go. I'd rather not. Well, they can get on board and pay you money out of their own pocket to buy your collection that you can then show. Again, as Kev said, it's completely fucking balmy. It always has been balmy. But I don't know how long I've talked for. I don't know if it made any sense. I'm not sure if this will make it live. Let's put it that way. But I think it was nice to not be a lone voice on YouTube for a long time. I've always felt that way. I always felt like I was the one that was sort of banging a drum that no one else was interested in. Because I don't know what it was. I could just see it, and nobody else. Although some people would sort of say, "Yeah, I kind of agree. Yeah, blah blah blah." They never really. I never felt like they really did. They never really got it. Or they probably just weren't interested, right? Because they were here and they were like happy. I get that. They had the community. This didn't really affect them, but I think because I'm not what do you call it? astrology, because I'm Libra, like the scales, everything has to be. I've always been this way, and I think there is some truth to it. I don't like things being unfair. I hate cheats. I hate things not being fair. I don't know what it is, and I always just felt like it was wrong. And I don't know why. It's just how I am. I just didn't like it. So for Kev and Wayne Goldtooth to sort of make those videos, I thought, you know what, if they're putting their head above the parapet, it's about time I did too. Again, I've always alluded to it. Any of you guys that have watched me will know this. It's not something I've just like hooked onto the back of at all. It's not about that. But I've never made a video just about it and sort of tried to convey my thoughts. And I've probably missed loads out. When I watch this back, when I'm half sober again, I'll probably think, fuck, I should have mentioned this and I should have mentioned that. But yeah, it's just nice to know that I wasn't going mad and I'm like, I say, not the only one banging a drum that no one else is listening to. Okay, so one last thing before I go, and I'm going to go because this has been gone way too long. One of the other selling points, I suppose, that these people give you to sort of justify, I suppose is probably the right word, you to pay them money, is, oh, they give you free stuff, enter into competition, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. I don't buy it. I really don't buy it. In the grand scheme of things, for them to send you a t-shirt for your subscription, do they send every single subscriber a t-shirt? Do they send every single subscriber a mug? And how many mugs you fucking need in a year? You know, it's token gestures. It really is. And I think personally, it's the cult of personality again. It's basically you feeling like you're part of something. None of them need your money. Honestly, they don't. Nobody needs to be paid. And if one person stops paying some of these fucking horrid channels, this video will be worth it. I don't think it will. I don't think I'm going to change anybody's mind, and I don't expect to. Honestly, I really don't. I think the people that watch this, you know, of a certain age, which I would probably say maybe should know better, but equally they probably know their own mind and they probably don't really care. So, you know, in that respect, it's each to their own. As I said before, I've got no problem. If you're here and you want paying, all I ever would say is at least be honest about it. Don't mask it with fake, you know, early access, blah, 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 all this. It's tosh. Stick all your content behind a paywall. It's bollocks, man. It's bollocks. It boils down to money. Like, they want your money. And if you're down here and you don't realise that that's what it's about, then more for you. If you do, and you don't care, then great, off you go. But to close it off, for me, what I've never liked and what I don't like is when this section is meant to represent this section, and again it comes back to me being Libra and having that balance, because it's crap. These people are no better than you. Don't ever think because they've got more subs or whatever, or views and this, that, and the other, they carry more weight than it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way in life. Why should it work that way on YouTube? And they don't represent me, and I hate it when they fucking, whoever moron keeps putting them on these fucking panels, whatever. Oh, is the YouTube community, retro community? They're not. They're not the fucking community. They're a bunch of fucking parasites, fake bunch of fucking parasites that are just out to make money. And that's what really irked me, and it still irks me to this day. If they stayed down their own end and fucked off and leeched off whoever it was, I couldn't care less. But when they were started getting touted and this, that, it was part of being, they're not part of community. The capitalists. I've got no problem with capitalism. Just be honest. Be honest and upfront about what you're doing and why you're doing it. You're not here to interact with people down here. You're not really interested in what these people have got to say. You're making these videos because this now becomes the job. This now becomes a hobby. Game collecting, retro, which a lot of them probably don't really do anyway, it's just the vehicle. Have at it. Tear me a new one. I'm pretty sure fucked up, but look, let's say I owe it to Kev, I owe it to Wayne, Goldtooth and Area Access 6, because they stuck their head above the parapet. So yeah, about time I did too. Anyway, take it easy, YouTube. I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.